very good evening to you all and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Monday, the 15th day of April 2024. First of all, let's have a look at our top stories. In our top stories tonight, Kampala City Traders Association announced a national business closure starting tomorrow, Tuesday, April the 16th. Speaker of Parliament Annette Anita Among visits Mandela National Stadium, Nambole. Over 4,853 red eyes recoveries registered since the outbreak. And in sports, Uganda to send funds to cheer Uganda Cricket Cranes team to victory. Hello there and welcome once again on sign language. It is Elizabeth Nakakoni and I am Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma, and we are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, the former Tanzanian President, His Excellency Jakaya Kikwete Mrisho, has this evening paid a courtesy call on President Yoweri Museveni at State House in Entebbe. President Museveni welcomed the former Tanzanian leader to Uganda. He also informed His Excellency Kikwete that as leaders, they must solve the problem of the market to ensure prosperity of the East African people. President Museveni further emphasized strategic security among the East African Community EAC member countries, saying this will help the nations to safeguard their interests. On his part, His Excellency Kikwete conveyed greetings from Tanzanian President Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan to President Museveni. He also commended President Museveni for his unwavering efforts towards the formation of the East African community. His Excellency Kikwete arrived in Uganda yesterday to attend the Guild Leaders Annual Summit as the chief guest. Now, the event took place today, the 15th of April 2024 at Makerere University. And following up on that story, former Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete emphasized the importance of education in nurturing and developing good youth leaders who can effect positive governance. He stated this: sharing knowledge between elders and young leaders can achieve social cohesion and prosperity. Mr. Kikwete was addressing members during the Guild Leaders Annual Summit at Makerere University.
Former President of Tanzania, Jakaya Kikwete, attended the first inaugural Guild Leaders Annual Summit held at Makerere University. The summit brought together leaders of student movements in Uganda to discuss policy, democracy, and leadership for better engagement in development.
Let's take democracy as a non-negotiable. We shouldn't negotiate about that.
The summit featured debates on the role of multi-party politics in educational institutions and its potential impact on the core educational mandate. Leaders expressed differing opinions on the role of multi-party politics in universities.
So really have confidence. If you have question marks about student politics, dismiss them and get actively involved, because that's important training for your future.
Why don't you join politics? For the sole purpose that anybody tells you you will now have a bleak future. Which kind of future do I have? If you want to look like me, or even better, just join. Number two, and in fact, join the Democratic Party.
The students are free to be members of the political parties of their choice. But the point is that you spoke about Anyang having been president of the Guild. If you politicize, the university seizes its international character.
Kikwete called for patience, knowledge sharing, and elder guidance, as well as investment in education for young leaders.
Make noise as young people of East Africa to be counted. And I see the importance of you people from East Africa, universities coming together, a voice from the universities, calling on the leaders to expedite the process and move fast, complete the monetary union stage, and move fast to the final stage, and after that move fast to the political federation.
He acknowledged President Museveni's significant contributions to promoting East African community cooperation and integration.
President Museveni has been the bedrock, and he has been doing a lot of work in convincing the other leaders to move fast as possible through those stages and get to the political federation.
The 2024 Guild Leaders Annual Summit has been held under the theme Legacy and Leadership, the Power of Knowledge and Cross-Generational Learning, emphasizing the need of sharing knowledge between the elderly and the youth to ensure social cohesion and coexistence when it comes to leadership and democracy.
Cross-generational learning is not merely about passing down knowledge from elders to youth. It is a two-way exchange, a dialogue between experience and innovation. It is about harnessing the wisdom of age and the energy of the youth to forge a brighter future together. In this room, we have leaders from different backgrounds, different walks of life, each bringing their unique perspective to the table. By bridging the gap between generations, we create a synergy that propels us towards driving innovation and fostering inclusive growth.
From the summit, a proposal emerged to establish an East African leadership body receiving support from the leaders. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Kampala.
Thanks, Ivan Kahwa, for that story there. Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has applauded Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade for a job well done in regards to renovation of Nandela National Stadium, Namboli. Now, this followed her visit and tour to the stadium earlier today. John Ban Sentamo reports.
In fulfillment of a promise made on Friday, April 12th, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has visited Mandela National Stadium, Namboli. The intention was to assess the stadium's renovation works undertaken by the Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade. The visit was prompted by a Confederation of African Football's inspector report that quoted the stadium as behind schedule and not fit to host games, a matter that was topical in Parliament for 2 days.
The engineering brigade has done a good job. That one, I must tell you, it's not shoddy as it has been said, and I believe nobody has said it is shoddy. It is not shoddy, but it's a good job. We only need some small improvements.
At Nambole, the Speaker got a progressive report and later toured the facility that she says is impressive and worth every penny spent of the 80 billion so far, and expects better after release of the 17 billion balance.
The Nambole I used to know, I used to see, is not the Nambole that I've seen today. I want to thank the engineering brigade for the good work they have done. They have really done a very good job, and whatever was raised by CAF has been resolved, and the remaining part is being resolved.
However, despite the magnificent works, the Speaker ordered the quick removal of the defunct Pioneer buses that impede parking space, which is a key requirement if the stadium is to meet CAF standards.
The only remaining part is on the scrap which is around the stadium, which scrap is also going to be removed. We have told the Minister of Sports to ensure that the scrap is out of the premises of the stadium. So we have not wasted the money. The money has been put in a proper use.
The Speaker tasked Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade to ensure key works are complete in a fortnight in order for inspection by CAF as Uganda tries to beat deadlines for World Cup qualifiers, the African Nations Championship and the 2027 co-hosting of the Africa Cup of Nations.
According to the contract that we have with the engineering brigade is 24th May. But now that most of the things have been done, we have given them 2 weeks. to make sure that all the work is done and is handed back to government.
Now, the FDC President, Patrick Oboy Amuriat, has warned the FDC founding president, Dr. Kiza Besigye, and the Katonga-based faction to refrain from violent means of capturing power of the party leadership. Take a watch.
Addressing journalists at the party headquarters, Kiijanangoma, the FDC president, Engineer Patrick Oboy Amuriat, said Dr. Kiza Besigye and his team have deliberately undermined the legitimate leadership of the party. He regretted the confusion caused by the Katonga faction and challenged Dr. Kiza Besigye to reconcile and serve the people of Uganda.
We as the FDC believe that this chaos was instigated by Dr. Kiza Besigye, who deliberately undermined the representatives of the people, including the woman member of parliament, Honorable Stella Isodo.
On the other hand, Engineer Patrick Oboy Amuriat has asked the government to engage stakeholders to agree on a common ground over the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing system.
Whereas this could be understood, the FDC stands with the traders and businessmen in protesting the enforcement of the URA new system. We believe that it was hurriedly enforced without sensitization of stakeholders.
Amuriat, however, said the enforcement of the system is hurriedly implemented without sensitizing the stakeholders. Deborah Namamonde, Mike Bakabulindi, UBC News.
Now, traders led by Kampala City Traders Association chairperson Thaddeus Matovu have officially announced a national business closure beginning Tuesday, April 6th, 2024. Now, the decision stems from what they say is unfair taxation, including the high 18% VAT tax and the recently introduced electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution, FRIS system. Now, this was during a press conference held at their Kasita headquarters here in Kampala.
Traders under their different umbrella bodies led by Kampala City Traders Association chairperson Thaddeus Matovu have officially declared a national business closure starting tomorrow, the 16th of April. This was during a press conference held at their Kasita offices in Kampala.
Olunaku olw'enkya tusigale ewaka tugalewo amaduuka
enkya nga 16 tukyeyongerayo okutuusa nga tufunye ekituufu kye twagala.
Okwekalakaasa kwaffe kubeerewo, pulezidenti atusange nga tuli mu kwekalakaasa naye tunaateesa nga amaduuka ga magule abantu bagenda kugayaala.
The duration of the strike remains indefinite pending the outcome of negotiations. Despite calls from government officials to suspend the protests, traders insist on meeting President Museveni, but only after receiving certified documentation from State House.
That we are going to meet the president, and we have come up with our document. The president has already received it. He's yet to discuss it with us on Friday. So don't go for any demonstration. Don't waste your time. We are working on your issue. As government, we don't want any demonstration.
They are also against the idea of a handful of them meeting President Museveni, urging that they want to meet the president in an open place where they will share with him their business grievances. Traders stress that their actions are not politically motivated, but an advocacy for fair business.
Nze nsaba President w'eggwanga awulirize abasuubuzi kubanga baafuga bantu si nsolo. Ate oba n'ensolo zaafuga nazaaziwa ekitiibwa kubanga nti bw'otaziwa amazzi kubanga mulunzi. President waffe mulunzi bw'otaziwa amazzi na bikuta tezikuwa mata.
Last week on April 8th, downtown Kampala witnessed a temporary halt in business operations due to the burdensome VAT tax and the introduction of IFRIS. Today, April 15th, many shops in downtown Kampala have resumed normal operations, although some in Chisenyi remain closed. Security measures have been deployed to ensure the situation is calm.
Those that have failed to close up their shops after the announcement by different groups of traders are going to be attacked by thugs and beaten up. This is not something we are going to entertain, and because of that we have deployed fully at different places.
The opening comes as the trading body, Federation of Uganda Traders Association, last week on Friday, asked traders to close shops, citing URA's unfair taxation system.
Ife ng'abasuubuzi tetuli bannabyabufuzi. Kyokka ate abannabyabufuzi be batukoleragana amateeka amazibu ge mulaba gatuusizza okutuuka otukaabya omusaayi. Katuwanjaga nga tukoowoola aba NRM, aba FDC, aba People Power, n'ebibiina byonna ebyaba leaders. Aba batukolera amateeka agatukaabizza oluguje ne gatukuba emiggo okutuuka kusa kwe tuli. Nti ke kaseera muveeyo mwenna muyimirire mu nsonga eno tulabe nga tusobola okufuna obwenkanya.
Meanwhile, the traders have requested security agencies to safeguard the arcades during their absence.
We do hope that that impasse will be solved, of course, between government and those traders. Now, a lady identified as Irene Lisa Nerima needs financial support to undergo a kidney transplant at Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi at a cost of 80 million Ugandan shillings. She is appealing to well-wishers to help save her life through donations to the numbers on the screen, and that is Airtel +256 751 143 184 in the name of Julie Nabwire Munaba, and the other number is +256 755 139 134 in the name of Lisa, and the other number is +256 782 936 352 in the name of Monica. Of course, that one should be going to Irene Lisa Nerima, who needs that financial support to undergo a kidney transplant at Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi at a cost of 80 million Ugandan shillings. Now we'll be taking a short break and we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just a capital loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
The government of Uganda and the Uganda Bureau of Statistics is calling upon all stakeholders such as the chief administrative officers, city mayors, resident city commissioners, city clerks, city and division councillors, wards and LC chairpersons, as well as the residents and business communities to cooperate with the UBOS field teams as we embark on advanced preparations to conduct the National Population and Housing Census on the 10th of May 2024. The census will be a 10-day exercise to obtain statistical data and information that will be used for planning and policy formulation, including information on 1. How many we are, 2. Where we are, 3. How we are living, 4. What we own, and 5. Where we access services from. The Uganda Bureau of Statistics has now started listing of households and mapping in the 11 cities of Arua, Fort Portal, Gulu, Hoima, Jinja, Lira, Mbale, Masaka, Mbarara, Soroti, and in the Greater Kampala comprising of Kampala, Wakiso, and Mukono districts. For more information, please call 0755 342 128 or 0773 342 128. This message is brought to you by the Executive Director and Census Commissioner, Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Census 2024. It matters to be counted.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. A warm welcome to those of you just joining us. Now, a joint security forces team has intercepted two suspected Allied Democratic Forces ADF recruits at Lia Customs Point on the Uganda-DRC border. The arrested Kwesa Isma and Abdallah Sharif are residents of Busia district who were crossing to join the ADF rebels in the DRC. Take a watch.
Ive West Central Police Station, in coordination with other security agencies in West Nile, have apprehended two suspected ADF remnants who were crossing into eastern DRC. They are Kwesa Isma, 19 years, and Abdallah Sharif, 23 years, all residents of Busia district.
In this particular case, the suspects were planning to join their affiliates in the eastern DRC, where they would undergo training and related hostile behaviors against our country, Uganda.
Police have confirmed the existence of ADF cells in Busia district, recruiting youth into terror activities with the intent of enhancing ADF manpower in Kong.
The two were actually taken for further profiling after they were established to be part of the recruitment cell in Busia municipality and district. They had disappeared from their homes for several months and were undergoing radicalization in one of the terror cells in Busia.
Meanwhile, in Kampala Metropolitan, police working with JAT have initiated operations against the re-emerging actions of border leadership doing police work. These arrests and detain their colleagues for breaching set rules.
The rampant arrest and extortion of border riders by members of the Kampala border central leadership, and of course those who failed to comply were being taken to their office along Martin Road in Kampala. Now these acts of illegality and lawlessness, confining a border rider and impounding their motorcycle.
This fraudulent leadership intends to revive illegal border 2010 operations led by Abdallah Kitata.
We've identified Fifu Siraje, Sempala Asadu, Kajubi Noah, Kiza Swadik, and Maninagaba Gerard. We are going to ensure that these suspects are brought on board, their statements recorded. We believe we have a very serious case of demanding money by menaces.
The operation led to the arrest of 6 and recovery of 21 motorcycles. In Arua district, at Arua Vura Central Police Station, two suspects, Ajikia Anet and Nyakuta Bran, were arrested for attempted bribery of a police officer with the intent to obstruct justice. Abdunasili Lobwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
Now, the General Court Martial has declined bail to 28 National Unity Platform supporters for the third time. In a ruling by Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe, the 28 are said to not have fixed places of abode and are likely to abscond bail.
Security was beefed at the General Court Martial in Machindi as the 28 National Unity Platform supporters were appearing to hear the ruling for their bail application. The 28 supporters appeared in court, although media was denied access. Court chaired by Brigadier General Freeman Robert Mugabe declined to grant the accused persons bail, basing on the fact that the accused persons failed to avail court their fixed places of stay and are likely to jump bail.
I find it very unfair that yet again
court has found a flimsy excuse for denying these people bail and continuing to hold them. These persons have no fixed places of abode. Yet the charge sheet that the court is relying on to try these persons clearly indicates their places of abode. The other ground for rejection is that the accused persons are likely to abscond once granted bail.
This is the third time the General Court Martial is denying bail to the 28 NOP supporters. For the first and second time, the same court declined to grant the accused bail on grounds of having no substantial sureties and the possibility to interfere with investigations.
This time around, previously we had presented family members. This time we presented leaders in different capacities, led by the Honorable Leader of Opposition. This time around, court has rejected their bail application.
Some of the people who stood surety for the accused persons, including the Leader of Opposition Joel Senyonyi, had this to say.
Court today said that as MPs we are substantial sureties, but still that these people might disappear and that kind of thing. But if you're saying I'm a substantial surety, why then do you not release these people on bail? So clearly all of this is politically motivated.
The accused's relatives were also dissatisfied with court's ruling.
Batugamba omulundi gumu tolina kugundi muno n'emirambo ekitalya kubanga kisusse bwe kyandikomye olwaleero luno kiganye era baganye tebabatuwadde naye baana mmwe mbasaba mugume tewabawakkiriza olwa miliyoni 2 tebagenda bibawa.
The accused persons have been remanded to Zira government prison. Prosecution alleges that the 28 National Unity Platform supporters were found in unlawful possession of fire ammunitions in various parts of the country. Rebecca Nantongo, UBC News.
Now, Forum for African Women Educationalists, FAWE, in partnership with MasterCard Foundation, have unveiled a new phase of their partnership, which is geared at elevating over 1,800 young people in the country. Marginalized youth, including those with disabilities and from refugee communities aged between 15 and 25 years who have completed secondary education, are the main target of the FAWE MasterCard Foundation partnership. Dennis Tigoa gives us more.
The new phase of the program, supported by MasterCard Foundation and implemented by the Forum for African Women Educationalists, is aimed at elevating young people in Uganda. The initiative seeks to effectively change the life trajectory of young women and men.
Out of 54 countries across the African continent, the impact that we create in 10 countries may look small, but it is important. It touches a life, and that one life that it touches can touch another 10 lives. So it's a multiplier effect.
Among the initiatives planned for Phase 2 are the design and adaptation of the bridging program in 7 additional chapters. Marginalized communities, those with disability and from refugee communities aged between 15 and 25 years are targeted.
Our programs and partnerships are designed to be holistic, addressing the unique needs of the diverse communities and the unrepresented groups, especially young women, refugees, and persons with a disability.
This program is a big program. It will cost us $182 million over Africa within the 10 countries. But in Uganda, we have USD 27 million to ensure that these young people access education and complete their education cycle and get dignified work.
Selected participants will be supported to transition into tertiary education, scaling, and dignified work.
So through the higher education certificate or access certificate, we support young people that have probably got 1 principal pass and 2 subsidiary passes to go through a university program for 1 year and then go on to a university program of their choice. Just as an example, if a young person has...
FAWE Uganda aims to support 1,800 students through the bursary program for higher education access certificate and TVET. Additional interventions include the extended orientation program, gender-responsive education, training, mentorship, and entrepreneurship support.
And dispute cases were raised by members of the public during the National Court Open Day. Now, during the function at Kololo Independence Grounds, members of the public interacted with the judiciary and other stakeholders in the justice, law and order sector. With more on that, here is our reporter, Deborah Namamonde.
Annual crime report said that
members from the public converged at Kololo Independence Grounds to participate in the National Court Open Day. The function that started with a march to the grounds, members raised concerns. Among them were related to land disputes.
Omusango gwange mu mwaka guwulirwamu omulundi gumu ate ogwo omulundi gumu omulamuzi tabaawo ne babaako bye beekwasa we nabuuza omuwala bamuyita Nadia nansuuka n'agamba gwe lwakuba towawa balamuzi ssente n'anyigyako miliyoni zange 7
kati ojja fuuka olukujjukujju nejja negamba nti ettaka lyayo omulamuzi batema n'asaba omusango expate katatuuse kulokasi njagala kumanya muliya yaani kuba mulinako obujulizi nti muyaye ate ng'alimu kisaawe ky'abalamuzi.
Among other patent issues was corruption from different stakeholders of justice, land order sector, RDCs and police, who declined to adhere to court orders.
2012 omusango gumaze okusalibwa nga nina okusasulwa ebyo byonna ebyayonoonebwa. Ndisasulwa ddi bannange kooti tuzitambuddemu.
Wekanya mufunye mbonye myaka 10 kati RDC agawanya n'abantu be. RDC mukamwange nyine mumwabirewa nsaba ontegeezeeyo nawe ngende mpabeyo bwanansinga atwale ettaka.
Kati obulumi bwe ninaze maze mu kooti emyaka 2 sikola nesiba ntambula bwe siba muyunula mba mu kooti bwe siba mu kooti mba ku poliisi bwe siba ku poliisi mba kulangiza.
The Chief Justice Alphonse Owunyidolo expressed the need by the public to embrace alternative dispute resolution mechanism in addressing some cases to avoid late justice and the increasing case backlog.
The judiciary alone, as it is constituted, applying the rules which we have inherited, will not adequately sort out issues you bring. And it is for this reason that we are pursuing innovations. We are introducing innovations that will ensure that you can have the bulk of your disputes resolved on the ground.
Dolo, however, applauded the public for adhering to the National Court Open Day and that through such means, the judiciary will improve its services to the public.
So please, all these offices are public office, the one of the Chief Justice, the one of all the other people I've named. There is no way any one of us can be untouchable. The only time I am untouchable is when I'm handling decision to make, a judicial decision to make.
In line with addressing issues concerning land disputes, Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs Nobati Mao said, as cabinet, they have started reviewing the recommendations from the Land Commission. Mao, however, revealed their intention to come up with a Stolen Assets Recovery Tribunal.
So that all the thieves who have stolen assets from poor citizens, from the government, whether custodian board, whether forest land, whether wetland, only a Stolen Assets Recovery Tribunal can deal with that. I also want to assure those who are quarreling over land that finally the Justice Catherine Bamugemerere report is being unpacked by Cabinet so that we can carry out some very urgent reforms.
In attendance was the head of Director of Public Prosecutions, Jane Francis Sabodo, among other dignitaries.
The ODPP as an organization has a zero tolerance to corruption. That's why when one of our own is charged with corruption or a related offense, we carry out investigations, and when evidence is presented against them, we let the law take its course. We request the land division to be supported and also the magistrate supported. Would like to see visiting of locals financed.
The first National Court Open Day was held another theme, a people-centered approach to justice. Deborah Namamonde, Susan Inabugodde, UBC News.
ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu, kano kalippagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *185*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. Now, Uganda is on course to promote digital skilling in order to catch up with the rest of the world in online transactions. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Amina Zawede, says the example of Estonia, whose digital journey stands at 99.9%, is what Uganda should emulate. Now, this, she said, while hosting a delegation from Estonia at the Nakawa Hub of Information and Communications Technology.
It took the arrival of this Estonian delegation in Nakawa for the tour of the ICT Hub to commence. They were here to see how far Uganda had moved in its digitalization agenda. They were led by the Director General of the Estonian Department of Development Cooperation and Humanitarian Aid, Ms. Kailsa Isop.
Out of the projects that we already are working in Uganda, then I would mention that we were honored to contribute to the process of developing the digital transformation roadmap for your country. We are in several educational projects, as also our colleagues from Mondo mentioned. We work together with the National ICT Hub, and we are taking Ugandan teams to the Latitude 59 conference in Kenya.
In company of the newly appointed Estonian Honorary Consul to Uganda, Girish Nair, they committed more digital support.
And therefore, when these young innovators under your ecosystem grows and learns from these champions, these global champions, they must learn to build solutions that are fit for purpose, that can be commercialized, and that's how you build sustainability.
We know for sure that for us to increase the adoption rates of the systems that we are developing, or the usage of these systems, people have to have the digital skills to do that. But not only the basic digital skills, but we also need the high-end skills. For us to do IoT, we have to have capacity, build capacity and expertise in that area.
The success of this will take addressing cybersecurity challenges in the country.
Even when we are developing systems, that is the same mindset we use. Build systems that are resilient, build systems that are not easily attacked, and also educate the people to know how to use these systems in a way that protects all of us.
The digital collaboration between Uganda and Estonia is a continuation of a 2022 MOU signed between the two countries to facilitate partnership in ICT innovation. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Israel's ambassador to Uganda, Michael Lotem, has visited Pastor Robert Kayanja to discuss how to improve agriculture and technology in Uganda, South Sudan and Zambia. The closed meeting at Miracle Center Cathedral in Kampala was attended by representatives from all the three countries.
Israel, to Uganda, and also to the region. He represents South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and some thousand countries. So we decided to have a meeting here to discuss about Israel in areas of innovation, technology, areas of education, areas of, as you know, we are involved in farming in Karamoja, so we had to bring the leaders here and to discuss that and how can we benefit from the innovation and technology that Israel has. What the people don't know, that Israel is very much involved in so many things, including the technology that changed us from the handheld phone, this landline, to the mobile phone. It was invented in Israel. Israel is in charge of startups. 99% of their startups turns out to be money-making ventures. And yet here in Africa, people register companies every day, but they don't even last for 3 months. They collapse.
Propaganda out there against Israel cannot match with what Israel is as a nation. So we who are Christians and who we share faith in Israel, it was prudent that we have a discussion.
In implementation, they will speak on the long run to all the development of the nations and the peace of Israel also. And we, the young people, we are start the program that has been lined up, they will really develop.
Now, women from the Great Ngoma region in Nakaseke district have been trained on how to access and benefit from government programs. They have been urged to participate in activities aimed at empowering them economically under the government's GROW and PDM initiatives. Now, all these efforts are facilitated by the Great Ngoma Foundation, as we hear in this story.
From Chinoni, Kinyugaga, Wachat and Ngoma, representing various activities in Ngoma, have appealed to government for support with resources tailored to their respective needs. There wasn't increased social services in access to education, healthy services and support for single mothers, plus orphans.
About the women's projects, we have been talking about the challenges that people face downwise. We are seeing families built with head of families, but women are facing everything as if they don't have their husbands. They are the ones taking students at school. They are the ones that take everything that is supposed to be taken in a home, and they have their husbands.
Professor Wilbur Hebwa from the Great Ngoma Foundation emphasized empowering women through income-generating activities.
Because we are seeing there was a glaring gap in terms of service provision. Much as the number of government programs that are happening at a higher level, if you come to this landscape that I've talked about, you really see a glaring gap in terms of the roads, in terms of household incomes, in terms of schools, in terms of health. So we set out as Great Ngoma Development Foundation to feed into the government's main agenda or development agenda of socio-economic transformation. We do that through 4 main objectives: unity and diversity for socio-economic transformation, household-focused development through teaching people how to diversify incomes and starting up within small-scale, businesses that can really help them.
Women leader in the Great Ngoma Development Foundation, Harriet Nana Kansime, assured them that efforts are being made to improve the socio-economic status of women.
Have one voice, also to fight for our rights, or to see that our people in Great Ngoma also they can benefit in the good projects and good plan that our president has for our people of Uganda.
The National Science Fair 2024 has seen over 200 exhibitions at Kololo Senior Secondary School as part of showcasing practical innovations at play in the current ordinary level curriculum that was rolled out by Ministry of Education and Sports in 2020. The Commissioner in charge of teacher training at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Joseph Kikomeko, says the practical skills exhibited by students will prepare learners for the workforce demands.
The Commissioner in charge of teacher training at the Ministry of Education and Sports, Joseph Kikomeko, highlights this year's National Science Fair as testament to the success of the new ordinary level curriculum. Over 200 students have displayed remarkable innovations born from classroom learning.
These science fairs or science exhibitions are not very new in the country. We have been having them over years. The purpose mainly is not to have these people really participate in innovations, but to initiate them in the innovation system, to appreciate the science actually that is taught them in the schools, and they see how the science is applicable in the real life at that level, at that scale, and this actually interests them in taking on sciences to higher levels.
For chemistry, we have 2 exhibitions. Biology, we have 2 exhibitions and 2 students. Physics, we have 2 students and 2 exhibitions. ICT, we have 2 students and 2 exhibitions, making a total of 10 exhibitions per region and 10 students from each region. So the minimum that we have here of the students, we have over 200 students who are exhibiting.
With the pavers, we hit again for proper mixture of the plastics and pour into our molder.
In the new curriculum, we mainly focus on what? On making the thing practically.
The students who exhibited say the new ordinary level curriculum has allowed them apply what they learn in class to real life situations.
The new curriculum aims at creating innovativeness and creativeness. So from what I learned from class, I shouldn't just sit and let it go and wait for exams to write it.
Honey is also included in our medicine to make sure that our medicine lasts longer. As you know, honey lasts for more than 2,000 years to expire. That is the fact behind it. So we apply it in our medicine such that it can be used for the providing lifespan to our medicine. Then this honey, even when you have cut yourself, when you have burnt yourself, you can apply it on your skin such that your skin doesn't swell.
When these products have been made, they end at competitions, and literally the government in most cases doesn't offer full funding. In most cases, even when these projects have won, the government doesn't effectively come in to offer the funding.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Well, now let's have a look at how the shilling fared today against the following selected local and international currencies in our Forex report. And moving further afield, the United States and Israel say they achieved a spectacular defeat over an Iranian aerial attack that sent 300 munitions, and that is more than 100 of them ballistic missiles, to Israel on Saturday. But as Sunday dawned in both places, a bigger question arose on the horizon. What happens next in this 6-month conflict that threatens to envelop the Middle East?
First direct attack on Israel, an abject failure, with 99% of missiles intercepted before they could hit. U.S. President Joe Biden cut short a weekend trip to his home state of Delaware to return to the White House Saturday, where he spent hours on the phone with world leaders or in meetings in the Situation Room. White House officials also told reporters that Washington does not back an Israeli counterattack. The Biden administration stressed one point on Sunday.
The president has made it clear we do not seek a war with Iran.
As daylight dawned, Israeli leaders sought to focus on what this attack means for solidarity against Iran, which backs the militant groups that struck Israel on October 7th and sent the region spiraling into violence.
We have an opportunity here to establish a strategic alliance against this serious threat from Iran, which threatens to put nuclear explosives on the heads of these missiles. This thing could be a very serious threat. The U.S., Israel, and its allies stand shoulder to shoulder to defend against this threat.
Tehran vowed to retaliate for the suspected Israeli strike on the Iranian consulate in Damascus earlier this month. And Iran's ambassador to the United Nations argued Sunday that the consulate strike justified Iran's response. He stressed that Iran doesn't seek conflict with the U.S., but ended his speech with a warning.
However, if the U.S. initiate military operation against Iran, its citizen, or its security and interest, Iran will use its inherent right to respond proportionately. I thank you.
Although Israelis expected this, it was still a harrowing night, many said the next day.
Nobody knew what to expect. Everybody was home waiting. So it was totally new experience. Eventually, people were very relieved because the attack was blocked.
The big question before Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is how Israel will respond.
And I think Israel, in the way it's calculating how it will respond from now on, it also sees some opportunities for reversing the negative trend in its image within the West, given what happened yesterday and the restraint that is now projecting in responding to that.
As world leaders mull what's next, for the Palestinian families caught in the middle of this brutal conflict that has consumed Gaza, the question could not be more urgent. Anita Powell, VOA News, Washington.
Kaylee with the very special weather report. From up there to down here, everything is crazy. If we don't listen to scientists, things are going to be even crazier when I grow up. Let's look at the forecast for 2050. Heat waves will affect 94% of children, making playing outside a thing of the past. Extreme droughts will wipe out wheat crops, killing the one food my brother eats, bread. Disasters will cost taxpayers almost $6 trillion. My parents hate taxes. Of course, all of this is caused by a blanket of heat-trapping pollution in the atmosphere that we could just, not put up there. But don't worry, there's still a chance of clear skies. Right now, clean energy systems are moving in from the east to the west, creating tons of cool jobs. And solar prices have dropped lower than oil and gas. Going to the satellite, it looks like a high-pressure system of grown-ups could still move in and protect kids from an avalanche of really bad stuff. Some gusty political winds ahead, but they're no match for the power of Hurricane Felicia. That's my mom. We'll keep you posted as we track if adults stop wasting time and fix this totally solvable problem. Because it's not just a weather report to us, it's our future.
Welcome back, and let's have a look at sports news. And the back end of last week revealed to Ugandans that the Mandela National Stadium, Nambole, will not be ready to host games. Now, this was after a Confederation of African Football Inspectors report that caused a stir and witnessed debate on the floor of Parliament. Our reporter, John Barnes Sentamu, visited Nambole to find out what exactly is lacking and what the future holds.
Renovation works at Mandela National Stadium Nambole started in January 2022, with the contractor Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade securing the land with a fence. Later, several civil and engineering works have been witnessed at the stadium as part of the first phase to cost 97 billion shillings.
The work was broken down into 3 phases. Phase 1 was called the short-term intervention. Its purpose was to revamp the stadium and make it operational. Then we had a medium intervention with the content of the cost of the first intervention was 94 billion. Then we had a medium which we assessed at 84 billion. Then we have the longer term intervention which is 100. Total cost to make this world class, have all games, to become a game center is 287 billion.
According to timelines, the stadium was earlier meant to be available for Uganda Cranes' next phase of World Cup qualifiers in June 2024. Unfortunately, this may not be possible because of a Confederation of African Football Inspectors report that found us guilty in a few but pertinent areas. For starters, the CAF inspection team has been to Uganda on 2 occasions at the invitation of government that sought to bridge all the gaps before opening the stadium. The latest visit in February is what advised that for the stadium to pass interim use like in qualifying games, works on the running track must be complete to avoid a risk to players. Other recommendations were that the media tribunal has to be shifted to near the mixed zone, provision of floodlights, a public address system, and demarcation of the parking lot. The CAF report also advised a reduction in the seating capacity from the older 41,000 to 38,000 to allow view by all in the stadium, whose seats must be numbered. The CAF report also recommended epoxy ahead of tiles in the dressing rooms that must be fitted with enough socket outlets, and told the contractor to provide more concessions like restaurants. The Confederation of African Football Inspectors report, however, quoted some things wrongly. For example, the stadium already has 60 turnstiles, yet standards require 58, with 385 cameras capable of doing facial and point-to-point tracking of individuals already in place at this smart stadium that, when complete, may never tolerate purchase of matchday tickets at the venue. Contrary to the CAF report, the Uganda People's Defence Forces Engineering Brigade confirmed availability of 2 generators. The stadium also has decent sanitary places like 187 toilets. The UPDF Progressive Report confirmed that the seats are at 97%, doors and windows 95%, walling and general finishes 90%, ceiling at 92%, floor and finishes at 95%, dressing rooms at 87%, the 72-room hotel at 85%, external lights at 100%, water supply and plumbing 95%, the running track at 52%, and with the overall project at 87%. Important to note, in comparison to what happens in other countries for such projects, there has been extreme quality control and assurance and zero catastrophe like deaths recorded. As the UPDF plans departure upon completion of the first phase in May, the plan is up to work the workforce from 450 to about 600. Mandela National Stadium Nambole's renovation is in 3 phases, with the first costing 97 billion, the second 84 and the third, which will improve it to accommodate the 2027 AFCON, to cost 100 billion Uganda shillings. By that time, the stadium will have ice baths in the dressing rooms, media and better VVIP lounges, quality broadcasting facilities, and enough television in lounges, among other must-haves.
John Barnes Sentamu with that story there, and thank you so much for that update in as far as renovation of Mandela National Stadium, Nambole, is concerned. And with that, we've finally come to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Elizabeth Nakakoni And I am Rukidi Edward Kiijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Living a safe life is your right and responsibility in our communities.
They should have an eye checkup once a year.
First activity that we conduct is getting these young girls or women from the danger that they are facing and bringing them into this home.
Most people, the skin doesn't go off. It stopped renewing itself about 5 years ago. We make sure we follow the skin cycle.
Join me, Ishime Kathy, every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. as we discuss matters of safety in our lives on the program Safe Life.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss a critical topic that could potentially save lives: the top 10 signs of a heart attack. It's crucial to be aware of these warning signals and act promptly. Before we start, please remember that this information is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you suspect a heart attack, seek emergency medical attention immediately. Number 1. Chest pain or discomfort. The most common symptom of a heart attack is chest pain or discomfort. It may feel like squeezing, fullness, pressure, or pain in the center of the chest. This sensation can last for more than a few minutes or may come and go. Number 2. Shortness of breath. Shortness of breath is another significant sign. If you're having difficulty breathing or experiencing sudden and unexplained shortness of breath, it could be a warning signal. Number 3. Upper body discomfort. Pain or discomfort in the arms, neck, jaw, back, or stomach can also be indicative of a heart attack. Pay attention to any unusual discomfort in these areas. Number 4. Nausea or vomiting. Some people may experience nausea or vomiting during a heart attack. If you're feeling sick to your stomach without an apparent cause, consider it a potential warning sign. Number 5. Cold sweats. Sudden cold sweats, clammy skin, or a feeling of lightheadedness can be signs that your heart is under stress. Don't ignore these symptoms. They may indicate a heart attack is underway. Number 6.